So hello everybody, this is my latest rant, and I've been thinking the last couple of days, looking at the price action on gold and silver, that, you know, it's wild. It's totally wild, and that doesn't make me happy because gold is for war and Bitcoin is for flight. And Bitcoin has also gone on a big run. So the two harbingers of trouble ahead have been rallying extremely. Well, that's not really good news. So I've been looking around for other alternative reasons why gold and silver and platinum and palladium and Bitcoin have been so strong. I mean, really, really strong. And you can come up with other explanations than something really bad is about to happen. And so here goes. Here's a few narratives that might explain it. One, the government shutdown. Now, during events like that, people are worried. The nervousness makes them buy things like Bitcoin, gold, silver, precious metals. They're haven assets, so they would tend to go there. But actually, when you look at the government shutdown in the US, it's really not all it's cracked up to be. I mean, most of the American government is running. It's, if you want to go to Yellowstone, you've got a problem. But it's not as if the army shut down or they're not paying out social security, all that stuff. The second is, again, back to the US government shutdown. I believe that the American Treasury is pumping money into the economy, which it kind of saved up when it realized there was going to be a shutdown, which is, quite common these days. And now it's actually monetizing the short end of the yield curve. So when bonds come due, it's basically just handing out cash, and that cash is going into the market, and that cash that goes into the system goes into equities and other assets that are good for carry trades and other ways to make money from money sloshing about. So that's another reason why assets like gold and silver, platinum, palladium, Bitcoin and equities would be so strong when there's a government shutdown. The Treasury is basically flushing the system with cash. Now, another reason, which is probably even more powerful than those two, is that the retail end of speculation and investment is getting FOMO for gold and silver and anything precious metal and Bitcoin. I mean, you couldn't really get a bigger group of rah pumpers than you get in crypto. So retail is finally, and particularly in precious metals, getting FOMO. And of course, there's quite a lot of equity FOMO, and there's been quite a bit of that going for quite a long time. There's another reason. So you've got Treasury pumping money into the economy because of shutdown, the nervousness from the shutdown, and general precious metal FOMO. The markets in precious metals have been so strong that we're in a phase now where everybody and his neighbor is saying, oh, I need to be in precious metals. Where can I get precious metals? And that is what's driving those prices. But to me, I don't like markets when they go like that, because it normally means they're in a bubble phase, and a bubble phase means you're getting near a top. Now, I think that the first gold top, maybe the only gold top, is around $4,500, and obviously $5,000 an ounce will be a magnet for the price as well. That is where I thought it would go. Initially, I thought it was going to go to $3,500, but as I keep drawing my squiggly lines, I saw $4,500 as a possibility, and here's a chart of that. So let me run you through these charts of all these precious metals and Bitcoin to give you an idea of where I think we are. It's not advice, it's just an opinion, but it's on each of these critical assets where I think we're sitting. So first of all, let's deal with Bitcoin. As I see it, Bitcoin is range bound. It was, a few hours ago, at the top of its range. It's fallen back a couple of $1,000, so it's not at the top of its range anymore, but that range is where it's been sitting for a long time now. So if it breaks up through it, it's going to go a long way. If it breaks down through it, it's going to go a long way. And if it just sits in that range, it's just going to go tick, 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 tick. So if it breaks up, $150,000 a coin, not a problem. If it breaks down, $60,000, $40,000, that's where it could end up. So it's, champagne or nettles for Bitcoin. Let's have a look at gold. Well, you couldn't really get a stronger chart than this. I mean, look at it. I mean, it's just gone up like a rocket. Now, the trouble is with rockets is they're up like a rocket, down like a rock. Now, the 3,500 level that I saw all that time ago, I've marked it on the chart so you can see what I was thinking. Now, the 4,500, I can't reproduce that chart now. I can't reproduce my thinking. But when I try to, I get the 5,000 level. And, you know, that is obviously a magnet for gold. If it doesn't suddenly stop and go into reverse, that's where it's going. And then at 5,000, the big call will be 10,000, which is a mighty call. And I will be really sweating it when we hit the mid 4,000s, I can tell you, because I always like to leave some money on the table for someone else. Let's look at silver. Now, silver is very interesting because you can see it's completely tracking gold. But it has this tendency, like Ethereum does, or has in the past with Bitcoin, of running past gold when gold is really on the move. It's the fast horse. And as a fast horse, it could go very much further than now. And $100 an ounce is absolutely doable. It's nearly at 50. 50 is toppy. Now, if you weren't a super ball on silver, you would think, $50 an ounce, time to say goodbye. But with the way things are right now, it feels like there's a lot more punch in the precious metals, and therefore they're likely to run and run. Well, it's already at 50 silver. So the next magnet is 100, isn't it? And 100 with gold at, say, 5,000 or even 4,000, 40 to 1 to gold. I mean, that's a classic level. Anyway, we will see. That's my thinking on it, and these are the charts. Now, when it comes to platinum and palladium, you know, platinum and palladium used to be 1 to 1 to gold, sometimes 2 to 1 to gold, and now they're a 1/5 to 1 to gold. So they've just got a lot of room to maneuver. And I'm not even bothering putting up the charts because they could easily go 1 to 1 with gold because they only make 200 tons a year. Go figure. And it used to be 1 to 1 with gold. Making 200 tons, not 3,200 tons like gold, not 25,000 tons like silver. You'd have thought any sort of buying pressure would really have the ability to shoot them to the moon. And that's kind of what I'm expecting. So it's really difficult to draw any charts that make sense. But you could look at the palladium chart and say, look, it was at, what's it, $2,500, $3,000 an ounce only 3 or 4 years ago. But, you know, let's not dream. Let's think about gold and silver now, and then worry about platinum and palladium later, because they will go in the same direction as gold and silver, and I believe there's still got room for them to go up quite a bit more. So platinum and palladium will follow. When gold and silver starts to peak, that's another matter. We should look at platinum and palladium then to see whether they've got any legs, but that's for a future video. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe and like. See you again soon. Bye now.